Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the GSA Season 3 70-Star League. Right now, we've got a match against BlueBob and Drogie. Let's see. It's supposed to be a really good race. I am here with Badronis. How you doing, Badronis?
I'm doing great. First race was fantastic. Got a 49 from Gainai. This one, hopefully, can live up to that. BlueBob and Drogie are both very experienced players. BlueBob and Drogie were both in D2 last season, but BlueBob is someone who is definitely good enough to be up there with the best. So I think he can put on a show for us today. And Drogie is someone who, like, you can never really count out. He's a very good mechanical player, knows so much about the game, but I think is like maybe not as much a fan of RTA as BlueBob is. And then you kind of have to consider their current form. Neither of them have been doing too much lately, as far as I know. BlueBob has kind of like come back a bit after GDQ, so I hope like he kind of sticks around.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it should definitely be a good race. Like you said, current experience, how de-rested are they? Will play a pretty decent factor. Last season he did amazing in the Division 2. And I think he was a little upset that he didn't make Division 1.
Yeah, kind of was like a bit of a drain on motivation for him.
Mm-hmm.
I think like he wanted to have some fun with the D2 stuff, but maybe not like what he had hoped for.
Yeah, but so hopefully, he's got some motivation back. This year we just have the singled division. BlueBob does actually have a better time than Drogie does by a bit. I think it's like 40 seconds or something on the leaderboards. So, if Drogie is feeling up to it, it should be a super good race. I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah, let's see. BlueBob on the Japanese version a bit sooner out of the opening cutscene, but both getting Lactu skip. Drogie on English.
Yep, so yeah, that means BlueBob being on the Japanese, it seems like he's got the early lead, but will slowly bleed time throughout due to text boxes and small things. But yeah, both of them on good pace. Ooh, BlueBob grabbing the box. Almost grabbing it a second time. Oh, and falling down.
This is not the ideal start. You can see a little bit of a grimace on his face cam. You have both of their beautiful faces on stream today. Drogie is kind of taking the lead.
Yeah, it seemed grabbing that box just kind of threw him off a bit, and then having to avoid it when throwing it pretty much directly in his path after that. But hopefully he can just shake it off. First trick of the game.
Yeah, the box is kind of annoying. Usually you avoid it, but if you don't and you grab it, it's kind of painful.
Yeah, and you lose momentum as well in your jumps, and it just kind of throws you off in general. So both players getting the slide skip without any issues.
Yeah, hot 12-6 for BlueBob. Gonna be saving only a few tenths. Slide time doesn't matter, but it is just a bit of a flex. You have Drogie coming into Woms. We'll see what cycles they go for. I'd imagine they'd both go for the regular half cycle skip, but they're both very good. They're both very good and could do the pro cycle with the extra 5, but hopefully they kind of reel it back. Let's see what Drogie goes for.
Yeah, Drogie's doing the
first. Oh, what a backup there. Getting onto the slope there, and then like he was on like the left slope. That was kind of like a wall, but it's not actually a wall, it's a slope, so he could jump off of it and save it, so that was pretty nice.
Absolutely, and meanwhile BlueBob getting the owl's first shot as well. So both of these players, Drogie's saving himself there, both of them not really having too many issues with that.
For sure, for sure. And have Drogie coming up to Owlus, I assume.
Yeah, oh, BlueBob's going ahead and starting his 100 coin with the pro cycle.
Yeah, bold move for BlueBob coming out here. Hopefully the rushed, hopefully he's not rusty. And looks to be on pace. Yeah, pretty good speed to get there. Not even struggling to make it on time. Drogie going for the safer half-second skip.
Yep, the cycle that Drogie is on doesn't really lose much time. Really, all the time loss that you have is at the end when you have to jump up and grab the second line of coins. You can see BlueBob is jumping up, but he got the ones on the upper railing beforehand and was still able to make the cycle. So he gets to skip, you know, probably half a second to a second of just jumping up there and grabbing the extra coins.
Yeah, it really doesn't save very much time for the spike in difficulty. Like you said, it's not even 2 seconds, it's like 1.5, maybe. Alright, Drogie, pretty good though. Not, oh, he did miss a coin. But not having any big issues. And we'll see the real sync come around when BlueBob grabs this star compared to Drogie, so he's caught up a good bit.
Yeah, he seems to be slightly in the lead, although he is on the Japanese, so it's a bit deceiving. So they're pretty much even as of now. He's caught up the time that he lost with the bomb clip.
Yep.
Ooh, and Drogie not grabbing the side of the tree that he wanted to.
Both of them a little bit rocky on this star. One of the easiest ones, but there's still several things that can go wrong as with anything in this game. So neither of them having a very smooth wild blue. Now there's 2 left. Pretty good womps for both. Hopefully we see them play these last 2 out without any big mistakes. We'll get like a solid sub 7 for both.
Yeah, absolutely. And with this being the first race of the league, oh yeah, Drogie falling down again.
That's not good. That's not
Sliding
good.
down. Oh no. Just can't stop sliding. Yeah, but what I was gonna say is hopefully all these guys have the nerves out with it being the first race of the season. And it's understandable that, you know, you make a few mistakes, but that was probably the biggest mistake that we've seen here in Womps, and I mean even that itself only lost him a couple seconds probably.
Yeah, I agree. BlueBob was looking to get maybe like a 6:45, very respectable, quite solid, especially for a race. I think this would be probably fine in a PB attempt. He wasn't doing Island Hop, I don't know if he does. And Drogie coming up here as well. We'll see the time difference, 6:44. BlueBob, very good, better than I expected seeing the issue with bomb clip. It seemed like he would be able to get a 6:44 kind of time. Drogie 6:59, 15 behind.
Yep, so definitely lost some time there on the last couple of stars. They're pretty much even up till then. But yeah, BlueBob, I mean, really not making any mistakes in Womps at all. I mean, there's probably a few slip-ups here and there, but only lost probably a couple seconds from when he probably could have optimally achieved.
It's another 12-9 for BlueBob. We'll see if Drogie could maybe counter with a better time of his own.
I'm gonna say 12-7.
Looks like a pretty good guess. 12-6.
Ooh.
Okay, so kind of a split for the slides. Oh, missing one coin. That's a frown on BlueBob's face cam there. You can see disappointed in just barely going too far to the left.
Yeah, it looked like he tried to grab it a bit too optimally, and it just barely missed his fingertips. But, oh, Drogie doing it too!
And he's one who has done this start quite a lot. He's well known for his flying and swimming.
Yeah, that's extremely surprising to see that both of these runners missed a coin at the start. That could have been a pretty good time save for Drogie to catch back up.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it loses a bit more time than just actually missing the coin and having to fly for it. Because you get in an awkward position to like grab the button and do the text box skip. So you probably bleed out another half a second or so there.
Yeah. We are in Dark World now.
Yep. BlueBob looking like he's on a really good cycle. See if Drogie can do the same.
I would guess both runners stick with Shig cycle. Very safe and his spin's been the go-to as long as I can remember, and right on time. Drogie making sure to get on that yellow block at just the right moment to jump off. Drogie coming around here, no issues. Going to wind around that amp and making the shig as well.
Yes, Shig Cycle is definitely one of the safer and easier strats you can do. You know, considering you can bleed a good amount of time, and then you saw BlueBob kind of wasting time on that floating island. If he would have like jumped immediately, he probably could have saved a bit more time. But you know, even in PB attempts while you're doing runs, Shig Cycle is more than acceptable.
Yeah. When you try to like push it just a bit faster and make Xia cycle, you have a pretty high risk of dying, which is not very 70 friendly.
Not at all. But both of them killing Bowser. Drogie doesn't seem to have gained any time. BlueBob still looking to be about that 15-ish second lead. So as they're coming, you'll see BlueBob going back into BOB to grab the second and final star of the stage. Using the wing cap that he grabbed just a second ago.
Pretty smooth on the sky jump, got a lot of speed, and wrapping this one up. Drogie still about the same distance behind, on his heels, but not quite close enough to catch up.
Yeah, and I mean 50-second difference. I mean that's pretty close. I mean if BlueBob just falls from pretty much anywhere, Drogie's going to be right there behind him, if not already caught up.
Yeah, definitely. This first star, if BlueBob goes for wall kicks, will work. Could be a potential death. Nope. Okay, going right up for the penguin. Missing him, gonna do a nice couple kicks to reorient himself. Lag reducing with the Mario Cam, not a very good penguin star to begin CCM with, but hopefully that's not going to carry out in the rest of the stage. Okay, doing wall kicks, good angle, and very smooth. Nothing to worry about on his end.
Yep, Drogie decided getting the more risky star of the way first. We'll see if BlueBob can actually handle it just as well, because this is pretty much the only star you can actually die on in CCM. If you just mistime this wall kick right here. But BlueBob gets it, but Bonks was... I know you can get some kind of invisible wall there, because it almost looked like he made it.
Yeah, I think his angle was like just barely not where it needed to be. Drogie gonna be saving some time here. That's two small mistakes for BlueBob, and a stage that is fairly straightforward. I don't expect Drogie to drop any more time. Alright, BlueBob, CCM16. They are both gonna be racing the penguin. Always worth pointing out. This is safer than doing double plus and shifting Sandland, but it is a bit risky.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, you do save the risk from, doing the extra pillowless strat, but, racing the penguin while you are getting all of the coins on the slide, makes it not as risky, but it does add risk to the route, because if you miss any coins, you have to finish the 100 coin on the slide.
Yeah.
And so if you miss coins and you don't finish the 100 coin on the slide, it's a giant time loss. Because then you either have to race the penguin a second time, or I think the more optimal backup would be reds. But it's kind of awkward because you already grabbed a few reds for the extra coins. So the movement isn't something most people practice.
It's definitely a really weird thing to try to do on the fly. So I think unless you've practiced it, and I don't know anyone who has, it's not really a good idea.
Yeah, especially in runs, if it happens, you just reset.
For sure. BlueBob not missing any coins, and Drogie a bit behind him on the slide by a couple lengths, not missing that last coin before the jump, going to be maintaining that safety coin buffer into the last stretch, which isn't very difficult. It's pretty easy to get every single one. But he can elect to miss one to land at 100, which he's going to do. as BlueBob jumps into the star. This is quite a good run for him, I would say. It looked a bit shaky with the bomb clip, but this is actually going to be a sub 1420 or 1420-ish. Very good beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and for both of these runners, I mean, all you're seeing is these tiny mistakes. You're not seeing anything major. And Drogie did catch up a bit because BlueBob bonked on a couple things. So the lead, I think, is probably closer to like 10 seconds, I'd say. I don't know how accurate that is. Might be
I think
less.
it is right about 10. See Drogie enter BlueBob enter
Yeah.
BBH at
It's
47.
about 7 seconds. Yeah.
All right, coming up to Big Boo's balcony. BlueBob not getting the clip on the ledge or over that fence. You land on top of that guardrail like Drogie did to cancel your dive. Makes it a bit smoother. BlueBob coming around here, nice long jump kill.
Yep, definitely doing the optimal
Drogie doing
strat.
the thing.
Yep. Drogie decided doing the same thing. Oh, but misses
Whoa.
him on the slide coming back up.
That was interesting. Usually the boo doesn't go so far back, and you kind of have to lure him up if you miss the hit while he's sliding. But it seems like Drogie got the boo up to the very top of the roof right away. I don't know if that was intentional. I kind of doubt it. That was very interesting.
Yeah, it seemed like he hit him more to the left than intended, I guess, and so he was really up on that ledge when he was sliding back down the roof to jump. But it didn't even seem like he lost time on it because, I mean, as soon as he was up at the top, you just hit him and grabbed the star.
Yeah.
Very strange. Both of them are grabbing that final star in BBH, so they're going to be headed down to the basement section of the run. Going to be doing SSL now. Be grabbing this MIPS first. Ooh, punch grab from BlueBob. Saving a bit of time from just diving straight into him.
Yep, pretty nice. Drogie, is he gonna do it? Nope, just a safe dive grab. On English, the bunny is a lot slower, so it can kind of throw off your timing, although I would say punching is a lot easier for this first MIPS. So BlueBob doing the punch is like something you have to know what you're doing pretty well to get it. Alright, nice plus, getting in there. No Tom plus.
Ooh.
Gonna have to redo that ground pound. Trying to adjust his angle. There he goes.
Yeah, missing that ground pound could be kind of scary. If you go too far up to this pyramid, you could be on an opposite side, and that's not what you want to do. So, getting a hold of it, getting in there is really good from BlueBob. And both of them knocking out Pillarless first shot. I mean, they did the CCM 18 route, so they're not having to do 2 of them. As we pointed out earlier, so. But even so, not having to do any backups and grabbing that first try is really a relief going into a stage like this.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. Kind of frees them up to focus on the rest of the things in the stage. And they're both going to be wrapping up with a low 18-minute time. Not amazing, but not bad at all. And very much right on each other's, like very close to each other in terms of the lead. And anything can really happen here. We might see some things happen in Lethal Lava Land. If not, there will surely be things in upstairs. So I look forward to seeing how this race is going to play out.
Absolutely. Yeah, and Lethal Lava Land is a place where you can die. It's kind of unlikely to see at the level that they're at, but you could easily lose time just from some extra booty burns from Mario and these 3 bullies right here. BlueBob getting all 3 of them. It's very easy to miss.
On reds, and he missed the red too. That's a few seconds time loss, and I think BlueBob meant to go for the big bully, but ended up ledge grabbing and deciding on the fly to go do the 3 bullies, which is a bit better. But like, neither of them looking too smooth on the first star. Hopefully they sort it out. BlueBob going for the other bully. And Drogie doing the wing cap. And speed kick is a big um,
Determining factor.
yes, exactly, determining factor of how fast you actually do the star, because that's how much speed you should get when you start flying. Not the biggest time difference in the world, but it's worth noting. Pretty decent there. BlueBob as well, getting that big bully star done, and I think they're kind of feeling comfortable. So hopefully we won't see any more mistakes, but lava boost is always something to look at. If they're not used to 70, like if they've only been doing 120, that's something that I think is kind of standing out like a sore thumb for a lot of runners.
Yeah,
BlueBob doing got a KO boost, or actually I don't know what the boost that was. I wasn't really paying too close attention, but no problem there.
yeah, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's definitely the safer strat where you just run all the way to the end. You don't jump
Yeah,
into
that
the
was just
middle
the
of
lava.
the lava. Yep, so BlueBob is actually deciding to get all of the harder stars done first. He did the bullies, and now he's doing the volcano. As Drogie decided to kind of escalate it from the easier to the harder. Maybe just wants to get used to the stage. But both of them doing a really good job grabbing everything that they need to. Haven't really lost any time here other than just the couple hiccups on the first stars.
Yep, 2 more for each. BlueBobs are a bit shorter, so he is still going to be in the lead. Oh, another burn. Same mistake as Drogie.
Yeah, with the strat that they were doing, it's definitely a common one that you see. It's very precise movement to get over there without getting burned because you're kind of playing on the edges of those platforms.
Yeah.
So, not a huge deal. Just, does waste a couple seconds. It's kind of frustrating, especially when you're in a close run like this.
Yeah, they're both like pretty much going blow for blow here. There's really nobody making a mistake that he doesn't get answered. Like they kind of are making similar amounts of time losses in each stage or every other stage. So it's still been this like 10-second deficit the whole race. Pretty interesting. That usually doesn't happen. But it does show that they are pretty evenly matched in terms of skill. The movement on them is equally crisp. So good to see that there's not a whole lot of rust.
Yeah, absolutely. And with these top runners, yeah, like you're saying, I'm not sure how much rust they do have or if they've been practicing on their own. But I mean, we're criticizing probably every single little mistake that they make just because of how high level these players actually are. I mean, both of these runs are absolutely crazy for like no reset runs in a race.
Yeah, they're very good. Both of them could definitely get 49s with this kind of run. And hopefully we do see those. But that's for the rest of the game to tell. Drogie, the master of chests and pretty much water stages in general. Very smooth on these. But BlueBob, no slouch either. Not
Yep.
missing any swims.
Yeah, BlueBob, both of them actually doing a great job on lag reduction as well. Not having to stare at that vortex for any extended amount of time. So really showing the optimal way to do that star. And DDD isn't the most exciting. You're just kind of swimming around, trying not to miss swims, just trying to be real smooth.
Yep.
But it is definitely something where you could lose a lot of time if you're not optimal about it.
Yeah, Drogie's definitely a great player to watch for this kind of stuff. Now, I do wonder, he might be going for front sub here. BlueBob going for back sub? Nope, he is going for back sub as well. But yeah, BlueBob, pretty experienced. Ooh, almost went off the sub there. Kind of had to adjust midair. Drogie reducing as much lag as you can with the big sub being in the way. Pretty good. But here's Manta. This is where Heisenberger really made his big mistake last race, and that kind of put him too far behind to catch up. Alright, BlueBob, nice approach. This looks very smooth.
Oh, very clean. Optimal speed and movement. Not having any issues. See if Drogie can do the same. Looking good for him as well.
Yeah, Fire Sea is going to be a big turning point.
Yeah, I think a lot of the top runners say that Fire Sea is where run becomes an actual run because of just how much time the slightest mistake can actually cost you.
Yeah, once you get through it, then you are in deep for sure. Drogie, oh my god, not getting up there.
Right
Not
off
sure
the
how that
bat.
happened. And BlueBob guarding the bottom of the pole. Bit of a grimace on his face cam, you can tell. Not very happy about that one.
I don't think he's going to be able to make the lava boost, and he's not even going to go for it.
Yeah, there is really no point in trying at that point. Drogie could maybe make early cycle, but ooh, that ledge grab is not going to do him any favors. We'll have to see where these elevators are. I think he's not going to be able to get it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to.
Well, maybe. No.
Yeah, he's going to try.
Oh, that was close.
That was a
he's
good
gotta
attempt.
watch out. He's maybe losing some time here. Will you go for a long jump wall kick? No, okay. Very interesting. Going for that side flip. Not something I would have thought to do. But he is losing quite a lot of time here. BlueBob did get that regular early cycle and kind of kept it moving. But a much bigger mistake from Drogie.
Yeah, absolutely. This kind of just shows how much time you actually can lose, and all his only big mistake was, you know, falling off pretty early on and just getting burned, and it was automatically out of contention for the early elevators.
Yeah. We're gonna be wrapping it up with like a 26 flat. That's like a very good basement. I didn't realize how clean it was, but this is kind of like right middle of the road to get like a high 48, low 49. So very good here. Drogie can be about 30 seconds behind because of that Fire Sea. But he can definitely still pull out a 49 with this.
Yeah, absolutely, and by no means is he out of the race. I mean, he's still extremely close. Just the race has been so close as it is that was probably the biggest time loss that we've seen the entire time. And it really only cost him, it was probably a solid 15 to 20 seconds, somewhere in there. So it was a pretty good time loss.
Yeah.
It definitely looks exaggerated from how close these runners have actually been.
Well, nice Skeeter RNG coming charging at him. Perfect time. We'll see if Drogie gets good or bad RNG. But in the meantime, BlueBob just gonna be making steady progress here. There's a lot of like small, I guess like there are a lot of small pieces with individual jumps, like triple jumps or like kind of precise moves, but they all just kind of chain together pretty well and make a pretty nice star if you get decent RNG. If not, then it gets pretty choppy and you'll end up losing a bit more time than you think. Drogie with good skitter RNG too, gonna be going through these blues.
Yeah, BlueBob got some terrible RNG off of that box. I don't think he was directly underneath it for his second jump up to it.
It must not have been.
But it was only lost 1 coin out of it, thank goodness. So didn't have to deviate at all from the normal route.
And Drogie coming around here to the same box that BlueBob missed a coin on, the 5th secret, and the same spawn the star. This does also make it harder to time your double jump because you are just kind of like anticipating when that animation ends. So it is one of the easier places to miss coins. Because if you miss that A press, you probably are gonna miss something.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything that throws off your timing is not something you want to deal with.
BlueBob going for that ledge roll triple jump wall kick on the elevator. Very smooth here. Gonna get pretty good angle on those wall kicks as well.
That was extremely good star from BlueBob. We'll see
sure
how
Drogie goes for triple jump wall kick as well. He might do the side flip setup. I'm not sure. No, going for the easiest star in the stage.
Yeah, not gonna. Bit of a route difference here. Bit strange how he decides to do that one first. But BlueBob doing it as well. A lot of times you'll just see it as the last star, because if you mess anything up, it's always a good backup. If you fall all the way down, you just run over there and you take the lift. But neither one of those players anticipating falling down, so why would they even save it? They know what they're doing.
Yep.
Drogie deciding not to do the triple jump wall kicks, and BlueBob deciding not to do it on this second star, which he doesn't save as much time on the second star. So I think that's a common thing to see BlueBob do in his races, is to do that on the first star with the wall kicks, and then save it, or then not do it on the second star.
Yeah, that's a good observation. I think like if you're not feeling too confident, it's probably not worth the attempt. But it is kind of interesting to see when a runner decides whether or not to do the strat. So like Drogie not doing it either time, but he is still gonna wrap up with Gerald fairly well. Doing an alternate movement here to triple jump dive. It's about the same speed. Alright, THI Secret's reducing some lag there, getting that double jump.
We've almost fallen
Caught
off.
up a little bit, but great backup. Very smooth.
Yeah, THI Secrets can be extremely frustrating if you mess it up. Because it's not that hard of a star, but some of the movement is a bit tight. So if you mess it up, it's very easy to get frustrated or just to lose time in some other movements.
Yeah. This run happened sometime before now. I'm not sure when, it was pre-recorded. But this is like the first time it's being broadcast and anyone's seeing it. We're seeing it for the first time in commentating. So it's kind of like sort of live, but not quite.
Yeah, it's pre-recorded, but live commentating, live presentation. But yeah, if you can see BlueBob actually missing the mountain clip there. Had to take the side of the mountain all the way up. So Drogie gonna be doing the same star, not even trying to do the mountain clip, just deciding to run all the way to the side. Doesn't want to risk it, because it's a bit of a hard strat that really saves little time and actually loses time if you mess anything up. So a lot of runners in races decide it's just not quite worth it.
Yeah, it's definitely worth the safe strat. Like, I think if you would miss the mountain clip like one out of 5 times, then it's not really worth it. So you do have to be quite confident. And Drogie has been doing a little bit more subdued strats and upstairs, kind of like with Dry World. But we'll see how the rest of the run goes. TTM, there's quite a few variations you can do. Some of them lose more time than others, but we might see like a breezeless from BlueBob, but not for Drogie. We'll have to see.
Yeah, and there's always the swag value when it comes to these tricks as well. So it can actually boost your confidence as well if you start pulling out some harder movements. You just feel confident to keep the run going and hit more tricks. And BlueBob not even having a wall kick, just grabbing the ledge, get the star behind the waterfall. So putting up a good show for us, showing us some harder strats.
Yep.
And he's actually...
Go ahead.
Yeah, oh no, I was just gonna say how BlueBob's been playing really clean and has actually probably saved a few more seconds since the Bowser stage over Drogie.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because he's a full star ahead. He's a full mountain clip star ahead now.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what Drogie messed up that badly, but it was definitely like a few little things that added up, and I think like if BlueBob does get breezeless, then he'll be off to a pretty happy lead. Let's see Reds. This could be a big difference maker.
Yeah, going for the optimal movement on the mushrooms. Dive rollout to grab those coins.
Just about perfect there for BlueBob.
Yeah, BlueBob's really honing it in. I mean, after the lobby, essentially, he's been on his game. Just kind of had to shake off some of the rust, as well as some nerves, and he's been
Drogie is going for breezes.
it.
Will he get it? Yeah, it gets in.
He does. It's actually really good for Drogie because if BlueBob misses that, that's a really good time save.
Yeah.
especially if BlueBob goes for it and misses it, or even just doesn't go for it at all.
Here's some reds for Drogie. Doing that Mario Cam C-up looks a bit nutty, but I guess he knows where to aim. Oh no, he's gonna die there. You can see on his face like he just like almost was about to smack something.
Yeah, and as we were talking about the
Had a
time
dusty
save,
rollout.
yeah,
That's
the
one thing that BlueBob didn't do, and you can see why. That like little extra rollout is very dangerous.
yeah, and I mean, even if you get the first frame rollout, I mean, you have to
won't.
be at the very edge of that mushroom, like you just saw there, to even make the rollout. And so it's a very risky strat all the way around.
Trying to figure out how to back this up. Oh, that was a really good back up. But then missing some
Ooh.
side flips. The lag doesn't help either.
Yeah, the lag makes the
Not
movement
happy about that.
in that maze even harder. Throws off all of your timing, and you're just trying to avoid being bopped by the walls. BlueBob already in Snowman's Land, grabbing
Yeah,
his
someone said
second
went
star.
well. And last star for Drogie and Tall Mountain is the box, going for the more like traditional setup to lose a bit of time over BlueBob.
Yeah, Drogie might be second guessing his risky strat choices and might just want to play a bit more safe right now. But BlueBob just having a near perfect SL. I haven't seen him make any mistakes. So not leaving much room for Drogie.
I think there was just like a little bit of burnout with some people in D2, and also just like it was kind of hard to find commentators for all the matches and get everything organized. So we just kind of consolidated things this time around. And I think like it would have been a lot harder to get a D2 with like as good of players as we did last season. But yeah, you never know. We've already done with Snowman's Land in basement, getting the MIPS. Really nice lead against Drogie right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's in the basement. I think he grabbed the MIP star right at 37 minutes. So, I mean, he is just cruising. He's going to be in a really good place going up the tippy if he can clutch out this hazy maze cave. Which, with all the mistakes that, you know, Drogie had with the death and losing his time, there is always tippy.
Yeah.
And at that point, you can die anywhere at any point. So he is definitely not out. He's really not even that far behind.
And he might be a minute behind, but that's 2 mistakes on Tippy, and you're looking at an even race again.
Exactly. So, not hoping that BlueBob makes any mistakes or anything, but you never know what's going to happen. This is still a really tight race. BlueBob's still got to be on the top of his game.
Yep. Drogie did get the punch grab as well, so it looks like he is still pretty sharp. Hopefully he doesn't hold back. Nice fly kick to top the Toad a little bit faster.
Yeah, I definitely think that Drogie has to pull out, you know, not necessarily the hardest strats that he knows, but definitely can't go for too many safe strats the way that BlueBob is playing if he wants to catch up. So he's got to play a somewhat of a dangerous game to really try to solidify, you know, some kind of time save.
Yeah.
But, you know, as I say that, BlueBob really isn't leaving him any space. His HMC has been almost flawless. I mean, I can't point out any mistakes that he actually did make, and he's on his last star. He's about to be headed out.
Yeah, just before you even know it, he's already done.
Yeah, and these stars do go pretty quickly if you hit everything, first try. They're pretty quick stars. So Drogie it looks to be like a little over 2 stars behind, but it's not that much time. It's if he doesn't make any mistakes, they'll go by really fast. So BlueBob's gonna be making his way up to Tippy. We'll see how he does over here in Rainbow Ride.
Yeah, Black 2 Bounce has to set the pace for Tippy if you can get it. Then you might be on for a good Tippy. If not, you gotta figure out what's going wrong before it gets any worse. We'll see if BlueBob can knock it down first try.
Yeah, Lack 2 Bounce is to Tippy, essentially what Perilous is to Basement. He's got it.
It's like kind of hard to compare.
Yeah, maybe not in difficulty, but it's one of those things where like you have backups for it, but every time you miss it, it kind of weighs on you.
Yeah, I agree for sure. So BlueBob getting it done first try with the classic side flip setup. And Drogie is gonna head up to Tippy now. Could maybe get a 49 still, but would have to take a really solid Tippy from him. BlueBob doing reds, pretty nice beginning. Going for a fairly safe maze, but not holding back too much, but getting stuck. Not able to get that backward slide.
It just went a little too fast there. Had to do the slow get up.
Yeah, that's one of the stars that you usually end up bleeding a few seconds on.
Yeah, there's a lot of things there you can bonk on, miss a wall kick, or do what BlueBob just did.
You've got Drogie as well, going for Lacti Bounce, the single jump, begin the triple jump as opposed to the side flip. And grabbing that pull. Very under control, not like going too fast, but he's not rushing either. It's just way unfortunate big jump, but a good way to get started here. BlueBob not making any mistakes other than some choppy reds. So we'll have to see if he gives Drogie any windows.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's kind of what it seems to be coming down to as we're getting into the last 10 stars. Is BlueBob needs to make some kind of path for Drogie to get back in here, because there's not too many strats left where you can just save a lot of time.
Yeah.
So it almost seems like it's in BlueBob's hands as to whether or not he's going to pull it out or how close it's actually going to be.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. TikTok clock 100 though.
Missing 2 coins. It didn't fall off the edge.
Yep. Be careful here. Drogie missing that like roll out kind of into the like crow's nest or whatever you want to call it. Getting stuck on the triangles as well. Not going super well. Oh no, too late. And
he falls down.
Going right off.
That's so unfortunate. This was probably like 0.1, 0.2 seconds from just finishing it out with just a couple seconds time loss. Ends up falling all the way down to his death. That's really unfortunate. Most mistakes on tricky triangles don't necessarily result into that.
Yeah, it's just like a really weird way that star can go. Unfortunately, like the triangles are super slippery once that switch runs out.
Yeah, but BlueBob pulling out a pretty nice 100 coin. Had a few slowdowns here and there, but was very solid overall. He's going to be knocking out these flipper triple jumps.
Yep, pretty smooth. And going for the easy pendulum cycle, but nailing it.
Yep. Yeah, I gotta know that BlueBob is keeping up with the stream to some extent and knows that he's in a lead. Because he really is just playing solid. He's not really making any huge mistakes.
Probably. He's always been a pretty consistent player. I think he has really good composure. Doesn't get like rattled by stuff. He'll just do the next star.
Yeah, and for how long he's been playing, I mean, he knows the head games that go along with running these kinds of races.
Yeah. Drogie getting a bit stuck trying to move up to that blue switch.
Does end up getting it. Is now in the last few coin boxes of the star.
Pretty hot movement up here. Oh, shouldn't have gone for that dive. I think sometimes people like Drogie get excited to go for optimal movement, and then they kind of end up getting some pushback.
Yeah, and he probably is aware of the situation as well. He probably knows that BlueBob has a decent lead, and I mean he does need to save time somewhere. That might have been where you try to saw that really optimal movement.
Mm-hmm.
So BlueBob only having, did he grab the toad already? I don't think he did. So he's
I
only
don't
got
think
one
so.
more star. Yeah, he's waiting for the clock. Should just have, I think, red's left.
Yeah, BlueBob on 48 pace would be an insane first race of the season to already have a 48. It's very consistent, not giving Drogie any room.
Yeah, pretty much since the very beginning. I mean, he messed up bomb clip, and then from there on, I mean, there was really zero major mistakes. I mean, he hit all the hard strats he needed to. There was a few bumps here and there to lose him a couple seconds, but
Yeah.
has really nailed pretty much everything that he needs to nail.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be making his way up to bits. He's going to be trying to close us out, while Drogie has a couple more stars to grab here in TikTok clock. So this could be some pretty good points for BlueBob here.
Yeah, I hope Drogie takes this like in a positive way, because this is not a terrible race by any stretch. I think like there are a lot of things he can look at that could have gone better. But if BlueBob's about to get like a 48-30, then that's not very easy to go up against.
Yeah, there's not much you can do. Not a whole lot you can do against that.
Yeah.
I mean, BlueBob's PB, at least on Speedrun.com, is 48-33, I think.
I thought he got one a little bit better, but maybe that's his current one. Like
he could have. I mean, that's just what was listed on Speedrun, so I don't know what his actual PB is. Very well could be just it's not up there yet.
Wait a minute, then. Oh my god, that was probably PB haste then if he hit the throws. If I had to guess. Like, he probably could have beat his 48-33 with this run.
Probably. Yeah, it would have been right at 48-30. But yeah, I mean, this is the race that we're watching is one of the best races or best runs that he's ever had in 70. That just goes to show you how good this run actually was.
No. That's a second miss, but what an insane run to get this point. Hopefully he can still get the 48. Let's see, this is a pretty close range throw. Can you get the lineup? Right on.
He got it. I'm a little surprised that the second to last one didn't hit. That must have been like a pixel or two off. But that's going to be it. Yep, it's going to be a high 48, 48.53. right as Drogie is heading up the stairs 2 bits. He's going to be trying to close this out to get as many points as he can. BlueBob is going to get a solidified 30 points, plus a few extra points depending on how fast Drogie can finish this out. So, is it 1 point every 10 seconds? Is that right?
Yep. Can still be like a pretty low 50 for Drogie. See what he's got. Moving left at the angle, should be able to get around it, and skipping the ledge grab as well. Not something you see very often.
Yeah, very clean movements. He's in the pipe, see if he can clutch it out with the 3 throws. Getting a mid 50.
Yeah, could take home like 25 points for this probably. Oh, that one should have hit.
Oh no, yeah, that was close.
Luke gets very visibly mad on camera. You can always see when he's shocked at something.
Yeah, he's got some good facial expressions.
Good shot on the second one. He needs one more.
Is that going to be it? Oh, just barely. Let's see if he can go ahead and finish this out.
Alright, that's gonna hit. BlueBob gonna take the dub by just about a minute. Maybe like a 36. Or I mean
50 something? 50 55s? Bunch of 5s in there.
Yep.
Alright. And that's gonna be it. BlueBob with a pretty good win. Won by a total of 2 minutes, so is going to be gaining an extra 12 points onto his score.
Yep.
So it was extremely good. Not much Drogie could do against that. Final points are going to be 42 to 18, which, I mean, Drogie shouldn't feel bad about this match at all. I mean, he ran super well.
Yep. And to start off with a 50, there's a lot of room for him to go up from there, so hopefully this can be the start of a pretty good league for both of them. So can't wait to see more of that.
Absolutely, and with that, we will go into a brief intermission. We will have the next race is against Cheese and Benji. So that's going to come up here in about 5 minutes. So anything else you want to add to this, Bedronus?
Not at all.
All right.
GG.
Yep, GG to both runners. And with that, we will see you guys in about 5 minutes. Thanks for watching.
Later. Peace.